Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Okay, they aren't camels and they aren't llamas. They are alpacas, and they are adorable. Joining us now to teach us about these fascinating creatures, we welcome the author of the new book, Alpacas Here, Alpacas There, Carrie Tillotson. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We were just talking about that this is your third picture book.
That's right.
Why alpacas?
Because I'm smitten with alpacas. I was on a trip in Washington State with my sister about 14 years ago, and we're driving around this island, San Juan Island, and saw these adorable creatures in the field that we'd never seen before. Stopped and found alpacas.
Okay.
And ever since I've been smitten.
Tell me about the journey in this book, because it's so great for multiple age groups.
Sure. So the book is written with kind of two levels of text. It has a rhyming text that runs through the whole story that you can do as a really great read aloud for even really young kids, 2 or 3. And then almost every page has a block of text that goes more in depth and gives more information for kids as they're kind of growing older with the book.
Did you get some hands-on experience or learning as you were putting this all together?
I did. I visited quite a few local alpaca farms. We actually have a lot here in Oregon.
There's so many.
We have the first farm with alpacas in North America here in Oregon, which is not well, I won't say. But I did also get to visit a local farm and help with shearing, which is when they cut the fleece. And so that was a lot of fun.
Tell me about that experience. That must be so fascinating to learn, kind of start to finish, what people do all the time.
Yeah, so alpacas are pretty strong. I got to help hold one of them. It takes 2 people to hold an alpaca, one at the front end and one at the back end. Because, you know, they don't really understand what's going on, so they don't particularly like it, but it doesn't hurt them. It's just, you know, it's just like getting your hair cut.
Sure.
But they're strong and they're pretty cute once they're cut.
Well, what a unique experience too, right? To be able to see that firsthand. What do you hope kids and families take away after experiencing this book?
I think one of the biggest things I want them to experience is to stay curious, because that's where this book came from for me. I was curious about these new animals that I knew nothing about, and that led to a whole book out of it. And then also the book showcases alpacas being born and raised in South America and in North America, and how they live within different cultures. And I want people to experience, you know, that there's other people out there, but we all have so much in common. And I think they can see that through this one lens of alpacas.
What a great connection. Just because maybe you know something about this thing in your own life, somebody else in another part of the world might experience it in a completely different way.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I think that we do have some very special guests joining us today. So we would like to welcome Doug Campbell of Alpacas of Oregon, and his friend is this Daenerys, who is joining us. Come on in, you guys. Hello, look at this beauty. Here, I'm gonna thank you for joining us.
Yes, you bet.
Tell me about this beautiful creature here.
So Daenerys is a 1.5-year-old female alpaca.
Okay.
She's one of 3 from last year that we're going to be breeding in 6 months.
Wow.
So she'll be a first-time mom next summer. Actually, be pregnant next summer.
Very
a year
soon.
from next summer.
Okay, so you've got big plans for her.
Yes.
How did you first start working with alpacas?
Well, I started dating my wife 30 years ago.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. And she said, wow, I own alpacas.
Huh.
I said, that's weird. So she introduced me to them, but I'm from Lake Oswego. I had never seen these before. I said, they're great, cute. When are you going to sell them?
Oh, sure.
So her response was to get me to name them and then to show them. And if you fast forward 8 years later, our second kid's born. And I said, okay, we can move to the country. So we've been there for 20 years. We're in Sherwood, and we've been there 20 years.
She had the long game all planned out with you. You didn't have a chance, unfortunately, I don't think.
She's much smarter than I am.
They're amazing animals, right? What are some things that people would be interested to learn about them?
Well, they're very smart for livestock. They do often know their names. Doesn't mean they're going to respond to it, however. They have a bit of a cat attitude.
Sounds like my children. That's so interesting.
They're super interesting, super social.
Okay.
They have to have a group. I'd never sell you one alpaca, I'll sell you 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
That's so cool. When we were talking about there are so many alpacas here locally, right? Seems like a
Lots.
really vibrant community.
Yes. Well, Oregon and Washington, rain isn't a problem for these animals.
Oh, okay.
They're dressed for the top of the Andes.
Sure.
So, yeah, snow, ice, rain is fine. The enemy for this animal is heat.
Oh, okay.
We're taking, 3 to 6 pounds of fiber off their back.
Okay.
Snowsuits.
Wow.
Right? If we get into the hundreds and you still have that on them, you could have health issues.
Sure. What is all of that warmth used for when you do shear them?
Sure. So you spin that into yarn, you knit with it. This is one of the warmest, softest things in nature.
Okay.
My wife, in fact, is a spinner. And she's a member of the Aurora Colony Hand Spinners Guild down
wonderful.
by Canby.
Okay.
And that is all, the farm is just an extent of her hobby.
Okay.
And me saying, finally, stop saying that.
Now, how friendly are these guys? Do you take them out in the community? Will she let me say hello to her? How should
Sure.
How should I greet her?
Give her some food.
Oh, okay. Food is always a good place to start.
So alpacas are
sweetie.
very food motivated. This is a
a lot
kind
of
of a
smells
different
here.
thing for her, so she may not eat right now.
Yeah.
But they're very interested in people because of the food in their hand.
Oh, okay.
Without the food, they kind of wander off and do their own thing.
Hello.
Look.
It's amazing how far she can move her head around.
Yes.
Just with how long that neck is. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, she can scratch her butt with her teeth.
Oh, now come on. That's
Oh,
pretty good.
Okay, this is
All
how an
right.
alpaca
She's
sits.
gonna relax.
This is called cushing.
Wow.
This is how they sleep. That's exactly how a camel sits.
That was very graceful.
So these are descendants of camels,
Oh
camelids.
my gosh. I wish I could do that. Okay. Thank you both so much for being here.
Yeah.
This was such a treat. Okay, want to remind everybody, Carrie's book again is Alpacas Here, Alpacas There. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.